So yeah.
Maybe. GM, Adrian. Happy Friday.
What are we talking about today?
Oh, nothing. Did you see my shirt?
Oh, it's so
Everything
good.
is computer.
Perfect. Everything is computer.
Everything is computer.
I
I
have
don't
a
know
GM
if you knew.
Farcaster shirt on. On Wednesday, we did our little Solana segment, so we missed kind of the news. So there's like a backlog of Farcaster news to talk about, but then yesterday happened. So I'm so curious what the show producers actually want us to talk about today.
We'll see. We'll see what the show producers have snuck into our feed here. All right, but before that, we're going to do a little intro, and then we will be back in 40 seconds. Here we go. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Friday, June 6th. I had to look. And you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes Farcast news to start your day. Maybe a smidge longer, but we're gonna dive in. And also I need to poll. I think I am doing something at 11:30 as well, like in about 3 hours from now, for Channels Day. So I have to grab that cast from Humpty. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, but I'm like, I think I can make that work. I'll be there. So
but it's not now, channels. Right? Like it's not
now. It's not now because it's 8:30 Pacific time, I believe. So we're good. But I wanted to mention that too, that it is Channels Day tomorrow. Highlighting some channels on Farcaster and why they're important and all the fun things. So, but before that, Adrian, yes, I am wearing my Everything is Computer t-shirt, and I am so glad that I packed it.
Which is a Farcon t-shirt.
Farcon shirt. It's a Farcon shirt. This is one of the Farcon merch shirts, and it just came in real handy. I don't know what you were doing last night. Erica was sitting in a vat of popcorn. Everyone was getting their popcorn out because it was a sight to behold. There are days on the internet that you remember forever. This is one of them. Yeah. So, and by the way, let me just set up a little scenario as to where I am. So I'm at my brother's house. The room that I used the other day is currently occupied by teenagers who slept over after the graduation party last night. I went to go set up and I went, okay, that's not going to work. So I'm now set up in a different space. So I'm like in the dining room and there's just going to be occasional noise. So we're going to do the best we can. But so while this party's going on, I keep like looking at my phone to find out what's happening with the breakup of the century of Elon and Trump. And it was just like every online person, terminally online person was staring at Twitter last night. Like it was just fascinating.
I had to go do a little road trip and I went to go visit some family a few states away. So I'm in the car yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
Well, and I got a phone call from someone.
Down.
I got a phone call from someone just saying, "Hey, do you know what's happened on Twitter in the last 15 minutes?" By the way, I don't know if you knew that we saw the cracks. Like we knew this was going to be happening for
everyone predicted this. It was just this is not a surprise. There's some people like, "Oh, were you surprised?" And I'm like, "What?"
But and I was like, "Yeah, I started seeing it." But then I was like, "No, in the last." So I was so upset that I had to be driving because, by the way, wouldn't it be amazing if we had full self-driving cars, fully, and you could just like sit and scroll while your car drives?
We do. It's called a Tesla. Have you heard of it?
No, full. I mean, all. I've owned, by the way, I've owned Tesla for over 12 years.
Nice.
I'm
Nice. That
full.
was your
I'm
brother.
full.
I was
I'm
driving one
full,
yesterday. Yeah, my
Elon.
brother has one.
I'm full
Yeah,
I'm like, it's anyway, so that's why I was like,
it's
well, you
funny.
know whose side I'm gonna take in this little spat. But
I mean, well, I could have.
anyway,
I knew that anyway.
I was so upset that I couldn't just participate in the memery. And then I got to my family's house and hung
Wonderful.
out and also couldn't just scroll. And then I had to get back in the car and drive another few hours and couldn't scroll. So I was like, at least I've got you on Farcaster.
So we
What I
can
wanted
like
last
at
night,
least live through it a little bit. But
what
yeah,
I
it's
wanted last
been.
night, yeah, during a car was someone to read Twitter to me. Like it just was like, where's there a space? Where's there a live podcast that can just tell me what's happening between these two
And
children?
there were spaces happening.
Oh, okay.
There were Twitter spaces that were happening because I kept seeing them pop up, and they were all different varieties. I'll put it that way. Like everyone was putting their own spin on it. And then there was what I was watching at like a little after 9. I kind of went and hid for a minute. I was watching the Bulwark. Did they do something called the secret podcast? It's like open to their subscribers or whatever. They're like emergency secret podcast, emergency. And it was really just like they're just sitting there like gossiping, like, it was just funny. And some of the trending things were hilarious. Like the girls are fighting was trending, and I just thought that was so funny. And it did kind of feel like the Real Housewives of Washington D.C. So there was that too. But by the way, have you seen this morning? I mean, not usually one to like applaud the New York Post, but
I didn't see it. And is this this is a real cover? This isn't
yes,
someone mocked
no,
up?
this is the actual cover. That's the actual
Yeah.
cover. I mean, that's
New York Post, they
yeah,
still got it for.
they still got it. I mean, that was just, well done. The big beautiful breakup. And there was also the AP Wire had a really good lead for one of the things. I didn't grab that one, but it was quite good. The memes were hilarious. You could tell there was like all of a sudden this pause in the fighting where they both like went to their corners, and apparently there was an emergency Oval Office meeting. So they kind of like paused for a little while. So I was looking this morning to see if there was anything new, and there wasn't. But what a crazy
Listen,
thing. Like,
neither of them have any shame. Like there's no right. So they're like, so they'll be fine. They'll make up. They'll kiss and make up, and they'll forget that they ever all the words they said. But Elon, my only thought on
what's
Elon
really
was,
funny? This is like a
yeah,
breakup though, because that happens, and then people make up, and then their friends are like, "Oh, we're not supposed to hate you anymore." That's going to be the problem.
who
It's like, wait, which side are we supposed to be on now? You guys are back together. I don't know how to deal with this because I already said some mean things about you. It's going to be that kind of situation,
yeah.
which is going to be
I mean,
really
my
funny.
favorite kind of just meta to think about it was always, and this was like back during the campaign, was who's more powerful? Like, is it
Right.
Elon or Trump? And I just to be able to see it play out, it's just really interesting. And I just feel like $44 billion is starting to feel like a bargain
Yeah,
for buying Twitter. Like
absolutely.
Elon's
Absolutely.
very good. Elon, I mean, this is all he does.
By the
Is
way, this was
tweet,
what was
tweet.
trending.
Right?
Trump versus Elon was top trending on Farcaster. There you go. So you didn't even have to
NBA
go to
pilot.
Twitter if you didn't want to.
Yes, you did. Sorry, V.
Yesterday was one of those days. You really
It's
did.
okay. It's
But
okay.
you did get enough. You did get enough if you didn't want to wade over there. But yeah, it was definitely one of those days where if you were going to get the best stuff over there. There was also, but one thing I don't understand also, like this makes sense. The Tesla stock had a moment, came crashing down, but everything came crashing down. And I'm like, can you guys just stop crashing markets is what I would like, because why is Ethereum involved in this breakup? Like, Ethereum has nothing to do with this. Why are you taking it out on her? She was just minding her own business. Like, why? I have no idea. And I think it's everybody thinks, is this like the market saying, oh my God, the whole entire world is crashing, so we need to get out, is my guess. But like, can you guys just chill for a minute? It's going to find its way through. It's going to be fine. So funny. So funny. And there was a few other really good memes that I kept coming across that were just hilarious. By the way, for those who might be a little newer, if we talk about politics, this is how we talk about it. Through
We
memes
just
only.
cover the memes.
Just the memes. We went through the whole entire election and pretty much only covered memes, and usually very quickly as well, to keep things
or
nice.
the intersection of politics and Farcaster.
Right, that's
So
different. Yeah.
if you are stand with crypto or other like not stand with crypto, who do we
Yeah.
have on that what was there? Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought it was Stand for Crypto.
Was it Stand with Crypto?
I think it was.
Yeah.
This
Or if you're
yeah.
Rokana and you're getting on Farcaster and getting active, like you can come on and we'll talk politics with you.
Oh, we'll talk
it has-
politics with you all
because it's
day.
Farcaster politics.
Yeah. We'll talk politics with you all day. So this was really funny to me as well. I don't know if you saw this. This is nothing like this was really funny. Another child of the divorce. It was Kanye tweeting. Kanye's tweet was hilarious. Bros, please know we love you both so much. It's like, Kanye, not the time. not the time. Just, it's okay. It's gonna be all right, buddy. It was just so random. And then there were a lot of really funny, like who gets JD Vance in the divorce kind of memes that were really funny. And then this is when I really needed Sachs. I mean, yes, and Sachs. That one's easy though. We know the answer to that. It's gonna be Elon. This was funny. This was one of my favorites with the world leaders on the phone. Bro, you seeing this? So that was a good one. This also was really good. Bought this before Elon went crazy on the Tesla that Trump bought. So that was pretty funny. There were so many good ones. They were all over the place.
Kojo casted something about, was it Kojo? Now I might forget because I'm pulling this from memory, but he said like if you're making Tesla bumper stickers, something along the lines of like if you're in the business of making Tesla bumper stickers, like you're gonna crush it this year. Everyone's got to buy a new one every week.
You're gonna crush it. You're doing great, sweetie.
And if that wasn't Kojo, sorry, whoever it was.
Yeah, and these two were funny too. It was foretold. Yeah, you think? And then the other the other one.
Oh, I didn't see this one.
You didn't see this one? Oh, this was good. And then this was really funny. Alien versus Predator. And all the WWE type of memes as well were pretty funny. So anyway, so that's what's going on in the world. We do have some Farcaster specific news, but anything else on this front before we move on?
No, it was hilarious. I'm glad Farcaster got to have a day of like ha ha ha. It's all a freaking circus.
It's such a circus. I know we should be taking this seriously, but I could only be in the laughter of it for like a day because
we should not. We should not take it serious. I am on the other end. I think we should not take it serious. Like, and let it go. Like, enjoy it for a day, and now let's move on.
And I have a feeling that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, well, it really could go in two directions, but I'm guessing that there's going to be a little detente for a bit, because there is a little bit of mutual self-destruction potential here. So my guess is that we have to detente this for a little bit. And if you don't know, detente, it's like a ceasefire in a Cold War. So just for the youngins who may not have heard that word before.
Touch grass. Everyone's got to touch grass.
It's a little bit of 80s nostalgia. All right. But let's move on. We have some other things. My life is
so much better when
it is, but honestly, yesterday was it was fun. It was fun. It was very entertaining. was very entertaining. But honestly, most of the good stuff did make its way over. So you really didn't have to be
The only
fair.
thing that's actually a good point. The only thing I felt about the whole thing was like nothing as the things are playing out, nothing is surprising. Like everyone is in Elon and Trump. They're acting exactly as they've always acted according to how their robotic brain is programmed to act. And so it's like, okay, it's actually not that interesting. It is, but it's
not that surprising, but it is kind of interesting if you think, beyond like the fact that Twitter spat can move markets. It's something.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
$44 billion was a bargain. And if you don't like social media in the hands of one person or one company or then there's alternatives.
And we call ours Farcaster. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on over there. All right.
Vote with your feet. Vote with your attention.
Vote with your attention. So Sloke's wife went out of town for the weekend. He said, Francis, well, guess I'll ship. And this is what he shipped. Hyperliquid. So we have now, Farcaster now supports Hyper EVM in wallet and mini apps. Send and swap any token on Hyper EVM and your existing balances on other chains. No bridging necessary. That part is really important. We'll get back to that. Update and restart your mobile app to enable. By the way, there were some issues yesterday too, towards the end of the day. I think totally unrelated to this. So make sure you've updated in the App Store if you're having any problems. And then below there is a game, of course, because JC4P just whipped something up on a new chain. It's really cute little game. And so I was trying to figure out how I was going to get some hype in order to play, because there's an aspect of this where you need to add some hype. And I didn't realize how easy it was to swap as soon as I figured out where, the right token was. And I was like, wow, this is impressive. And that's the impressive
how did you do
part.
it? Farcaster, just in your Warplet?
Swap in the Warplet. Yeah.
Swap in the WAP.
So swap in the Warplet. I've been with my mother too much, by the way. So you might hear a hint of.
I think that's Boston. The new name. I think that's the new name for the Warplet. It's a Waplet.
Waplet.
Swaplet.
Swarplet. No.
Swamplet. Okay.
So anyway, and there was a lot of people
when he says no bridging, that just means they're bridging behind the scenes.
They're bridging behind the scenes for you. Yeah. And so a lot of people commented on that fact, that they'd had a hard time getting hype, like being able to swap to hype. It was very, it's just elusive. It's not that easy to do or whatever. There's a lot of people commenting on how difficult that was, and that this was so simple. So even on Twitter, you were seeing people shout out, this might be the easiest way to swap to hype, to get onto hype. And it was really interesting, our Hyperliquid. So that was really cool to see. So leading the way, and Sloke, you're just ridiculous.
Would it be appropriate or inappropriate if we did a crowd fund to keep sending Sloke's wife away on weekends? Be like, Sloke's wife, we all chipped in and got you a spa gift certificate.
Where's someplace you'd really like to go for a long weekend? Not
a short little
just somewhere we could send you.
Joshua Tree, Palm Springs.
We should probably make sure he has something in his mind and ready. Yeah. We don't want to, let's be efficient. You got something you've been wanting to work on there, buddy? Yeah, so that was pretty amazing and impressive. Great to see. Then, okay, so we mentioned Channels Day. Channels Day is tomorrow, June 7th. We've been rooting for channels since day one. This is from Sahil and OpenRank. We'll celebrate folks who can make channels great, mods and users who show up in channels every day. We'll pick the 100 most active channels and drop a Channels Day NFT to the top 50 users on each of these channel leaderboards. You can check your rank and share directly from the channel app. So that is really cool. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be jumping on with Humpty and Ted for a chat, and I need to find that tweet real quick. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, just talking channels. So I think there was possibility that Dan might be there as well, but we'll see. Hold on one second. Excuse me, quiet on the set, please. Thanks. This has been really not easy. Not easy to do this while you're traveling. So this is from Humpty. Official Channels Day. What does this mean? Channels were launched on June 7th and quickly became cozy corners for creators, curators, and communities to connect and grow on Farcaster. Celebrate with us. If you're a channel owner, quote-cast this post with a note about why you started your channel. How is it meaningful to you? And don't forget to celebrate your active members by tagging the top contributors and letting them know how they help make your cozy corner better. If you don't own a channel or are simply a fan of channels, quote-cast this post and tag your top 3 channels and share why they're important to you. How do they make the internet or Farcaster a better place for you? So I love that. I think that's so fun. And then there's an official launch party. That's what's happening today at 8 a.m. PDT with Ray's IPSA and Humpty. Maybe I think DWR might be joining. I know Ted is, and I'll be there as well. So this will be really fun. Yeah. So what are your 3 favorite channels, by the way? Adrian.
Hey, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know.
Yes. Like this is a hard question. I mean, come on.
You know what? I'm not in channel. Like I have, I defer my answer.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what my 3 favorites are.
That's funny. The one I use the most is obviously GM Farcaster but that's more, we use that more of like a bulletin board. This is where we just post about GM Farcaster. So, but I appreciate that use case so much that I will say that is my favorite channel. And then I would say Builder DAO is what we use for Builder in a similar fashion. Nouns has been fantastic in terms of having an open place for discussion. Most of our discussions have been in Discords. So that's been, to me, really great. If you have favorite channels, drop them in the chat. We'd love to know. Firefit. Oh, yeah. You asked this question at brunch.
I said, what's your favorite channel? Like one favorite? That's easier than 3, a list. I'm like, no. Okay. Then because if it's one, I can be like, all right, here's one. Yeah. I can answer it. GM Farcaster.
GM Farcaster. Firefits is always fun. Catwalk. If you haven't been in Catwalk, just for fun, like you should, because it's hilarious. And dogs is always a good one too. Yeah. So anyway.
It is one of my favorite questions to ask people.
Yeah.
What I love about Channel Day too is like just the history of channels from like a product development and protocol development perspective, which was the Merkle team doing a ton of experiments with channels over the years and not really finding the thing that would lead to growth, like hockey stick protocol growth. So it ends up being kind of deprioritized, but the people here are so desperately wanting channels. Right. So there's been a lot of this push and pull between users on Farcaster who really want channels as a place to develop communities, and the Merkle team saying, well, we're not really going to invest in it. What I love most is the people who keep advocating for channels, like in a constructive way, because Dan is listening. So Channels Day, which is a completely kind of bottoms up community driven thing, right? Day and event will make its way to Merkle.
Right.
Is that like, it's just so all the like, so I think for it's just such a good spirit of permissionless network building and dare I say genius, but so for all the things, of like, if you're here and if you don't like necessarily the direction Merkle's going with anything, things can change. They listen to feedback. So I'm really happy to see all the people who have been so passionately pro channel the whole way.
Yeah, definitely.
And for sure, the Cura Open Rank guys and folks and Peachy and
Humpty's been a huge advocate. Peachy, and I love these Uli posting. Got a shout out here?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the songwriting channel. First Draft, I think, is a great use of a channel for something different. For a creative outlet, I think that's a great use of a channel. I love Uli posting just for fun, and also the the Dolphin channel was really funny. in the opposite direction. So I think there's been some creative uses of channels, and I think there'll be more, especially as you get different integrations and things, and more things you can do with them, like those experimentations with Uli posting and things like that. Like experimenting more with different approaches is always fun. Yeah. So there we go. All right. So channels day tomorrow. And today, a little bit of stuff launching today. And then tomorrow, you'll see lots about channels on the timeline. A couple more newsy things. New mini app API for back navigation. This is from Deodad. One-line integration for standard web apps. Custom integration available for advanced use cases. Back control will vary depending on platform. Web is button. iOS is swipe left. Android is native back control, swipe, and/or hardware virtual button. Simple yet powerful. So that's pretty cool. Is that something that would be useful for you? Not really in our app yet.
Well, I think the only thing I found as a user in mini apps and when I was developing is sometimes our app is a single page.
Right.
So there's no real navigation. But sometimes you'll launch we have links that go out to YouTube or our media kit, and they open in a separate window.
Okay. Yeah.
So not within the mini app. There's a hook in the on-chain mini kit and the base mini kit for making that really easy to do. But if you just code it as if like open this window and it opens inside the mini app, then you get stuck in there. And I don't know if you've ever seen that. Button. So like, yeah. And I've done like if you want to link to a different page or link somewhere but not leave the mini app, like and I've done this before where I'm like, actually this, if you're watching in our mini app right now and if you click on the YouTube, like open in YouTube, in the YouTube embed, it opens inside of our mini app, and then you're stuck there until you exit and like reload the mini app.
Okay, so that does happen.
And that drives me crazy.
So then that would be useful for that point. For that,
and then you can swipe left. Yeah.
All right, cool. This seems like something that will be very useful for a lot of different mini apps that are out there, especially gaming ones too. It wasn't
super easy to figure out how to implement, not as a mini app developer, but as like on the standard protocol side. So I don't know if Deodad had written about it, but if you're a tech nerd, you can go read about all the things he had to do to get that working.
I don't know if he did.
Maybe not
just
here.
As the demo. Yeah, maybe somewhere else. Yeah,
somewhere else he was.
But there's the documentations here and the demos here as well within this thread from Deodad. And this link, all the links we show on the show are in our show notes. So if you're looking for this and can't find it, or just go to @Deodad, and you'll find it. All right. We also have new improved threads. We're now showing more replies by default. See the images below for examples. And I think this is great because the threading, sometimes you like lose replies when you're trying to, like see, I've seen it happen so many times where I'm like, wait, I know I saw this reply and I can't find it again. And it's just kind of hidden. So this is great. Be able to see more replies. And also Alina Ferry was in this thread and she was quite happy about that. So there you go. I saw her shout it out. It was funny. This from DWR: in the last 2 months, Farcaster app rebrand, web wallet launch, Snap Chain launch, Farcaster Pro, 12,000 plus subscriptions, Coinbase wallet beta with Farcaster support, new ecosystems, Monad, Celo, Solana, Hyper EVM, minimized mini apps, a bunch of improvements to the mini apps SDK and dev tools, auth addresses shipped, increased USDC rewards for casters and developers, Tip Tuesday, trending topics, gasless background swaps, improved token pages. Choo choo. When I read this, I went, I bet Dan was writing an update. I was like, wait, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, I should probably share this on there. I was thinking like it sounds like a good
doing his investor update. Yeah.
Really good investor update for Q1.
Did he forget anything? I think he forgot the Warpcast reaction, the W, and we really need to train. We also need a train reaction when he writes choo choo. So
yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't been done yet. Yeah, we need a choo choo train would be great. I think that would be nice as the next one for sure. I'd love to see that. Okay, moving on. Farcaster for every chain, a map. The map keeps being updated. Like it is, that part to me is really impressive. Like how many chains are getting added in and that things are swapping and working and moving so easily between them is really incredible. Especially if you've been around here for a while, where like just bridging from Polygon would take you hours and hours and usually would fail. You'd have to do it like 4 times before it worked. And that was all Ethereum based. And this is like going back 3 years.
Yeah.
It's not even that long ago, 3 years. And I was doing that and like losing my mind, trying to just bridge over USDC from Polygon to mainnet like crazy. So this is amazing.
And yeah, and I think the best part of this goes against that whole narrative of like Farcaster is base equals base, or oh well, Farcaster is built on base, so therefore if this idea that a social network is, first of all, Farcaster is not built on base, so
it's not, it's built on optimism, but anyway,
fake news.
yeah,
well, let's just say Farcaster is built on optimism. Okay, cool. What does that mean?
Super
and
chain,
think like, oh well, if I'm not in that network, then it's not for me. But the sufficiently decentralized part, which is that can be Farcaster, but Farcaster can interop and integrate and work on any platform, any chain, and you start to feel that as a user, like it doesn't matter from like the word blitz. This is cool to see.
Yeah, it's really pretty impressive. So great to see this. This from Rish, continuing to make notifications better for mini app developers. You can now create notification campaigns, the dev portal, and see metrics like delivery rate, open rate, unique opens. Using open rate as a way to iterate on notification styles can significantly improve app performance over time. The higher the percentage of users clicking your notifications, the better your app performs overall. HA Vegan Beef for the work. Reach out. Did you really just podcast bomb? That was my brother.
It's amazing.
That was my brother. Anyway, are you seriously?
Hi, people of the earth, people of the Farcast.
Farcaster.
I'm going to learn everything about the Farcast. I'm very excited.
Let's go. Let's go. Send that man an invite.
I would. I wanted him to do it before. He could be on here talking about what he likes, doesn't like. We could be helping him get started. But he didn't do the homework. So he wasn't allowed on. But he podcast bombed anyway to the Farcast. I know. And I also asked my mom if she wanted to do a market report. She said everything's down.
The best days for a market report.
Great day for a market report. Anyway, tutorial on how to set up notifications and reply. You're a hit. They're all commenting about you. About the Farcast. This is onboarding. Yes, this is onboarding, CJ. Oh my Lord. Anyway. Moving on. Now you understand why this has been difficult to do this for me.
Brock got thrown. This is like your panic is like when you left the stream on Monday and I was like, fuck. Ruin it. Ruin
I like
the stream.
Very controlled environments that I have cultivated over the past 254 episodes. This whole day has been throwing me off. All right. A couple more things. This is from Linda. Someone just DC'd me their passport photo unprompted. Please don't do that. I'm not verifying your KYC. Why did somebody do that? We don't know.
And then 6. Ayo, my bad.
Ayo, my bad. Send it to me real quick. Testing something. Enter. Like, I know. Everybody's just losing their minds. Yeah, so do not send Linda your passport. And then I think it was Schloms. Was it Schloms who said, if you want to put your passports here, and people started dropping passports, don't do that. Most of the time they were just dropping
fake ones.
Some of them were fake, but there were a couple that I wasn't sure about. So don't do that. Just don't. By the way, this is really cool. So this is from the Noise team. OK Banger is now a super tip, which is funny. So if you type OK Banger on a cast in a comment, you can set this up within the Noise app where you can set it for a larger amount or whatever. And this was, I just realized I don't have the Dan cast, but Dan about 10 months ago had said somebody should make, I should be able to tip you extra if you type OK Banger. And now it's live. So there you go. From dream to reality. And I loved this from Miguel, who was celebrating both the Nintendo Switch and OK Banger at the same time. And it's really cute. He's also doing the NFT, and he did post, I think it was yesterday, stop asking him when the NFT is coming. Merkel will get it to you when they're good and ready. So my guess is he's done his part. So there you go. A couple more things. This was funny from Kyle Patrick. This was in relation to me, NFT checker, me, in relation to the fact that group chats, if they were token gated with an NFT and you were using the check for NFT checkoff, it was kicking people out. And it literally, there was, for some reason the other night, it kicked everybody out of like a whole bunch of group chats. So it was like, made it look like we've just kicked you out. We did not. So we did not kick anyone out. So it was something went wrong there. Something broke. I think it's been fixed now, but we also just, for our personal group chat, I just added everybody in. But it was really funny because, and then, I forgot to grab the Triumphs cast where he was calling us out for kicking him out of the group chat. I don't know if you saw that from Triumph. That was really funny. So yeah, we didn't kick anybody out, and nobody's really mad, and it was really funny. This is almost my background today, and I just couldn't get it to look good. Jesse, okay, there's two things about this particular photo, and if you're only listening to this, you might want to go take a look, or maybe you've seen the cast. Jesse Pollock went to Capitol Hill yesterday, talking to folks about crypto on the Hill, staffers and Congress and members of Congress. And he said, suited up. But before this, right before this, he said, does anyone have a suit in DC? So I don't know if forgot to pack one, luggage got lost. I did not hear the rest of the reason. This one looks like it fits, but maybe it's a little short in the pants. I'm not sure. Can't tell. But he had some really funny content yesterday where he was actually running. He saw the motorcade go by and he starts running towards it. And he was really, I guess he was distracted. So that was pretty funny. But he had a good day up on the Hill, talked to a lot of folks about crypto. And thanks for doing the work, Jesse and Coinbase. Always up there doing the work. And this is from Aneri. If you want to make sure your mini app gets visibility in Coinbase Wallet, ensure your manifest is your mainfest or manifest. It should be manifest, right? Is properly set up here. Some of the biggest apps do not have this set up. Most important ones to fill out: primary category, OG title, OG description, OG image URL, subtitle, description and tagline, hero image URL. I think I still owe you some images now that I'm reading this. For you that you needed.
I forgot about that. You do.
As soon as I read this, I'm like, wait, yeah. I think I owe you something. I will get that done as soon as I get back home. So yeah, so if you are getting it, they're going to start to increase the number of people who are able to access the beta. And then I think the plan is sometime this summer, it will be open. So make sure you're ready for that moment. And is the GM Farcaster app still the #1 in news?
I don't know. I'll verify.
That's pretty amazing.
I also have no idea what that's tracked, like what goes into the order.
I have no idea. I don't know, but it's good to
see.
No,
we are dead last.
What? All right, people. If you're using Coinbase Wallet, go into our app.
We're number 7 behind 2 Kiwi News. Like, why are there 2 Kiwi News and why are they both more popular than us? This is so depressing.
I wouldn't worry about it too much because it'd literally be just you opening, and it could literally be just him opening. So there's not that many people using Coinbase who are in the beta yet. So
yeah,
wouldn't be
I don't know.
too concerned. But do make sure your mini apps are ready and that they're compatible with Coinbase Wallet. It's going to be good for your visibility and distribution. So coming up soon. And today, I did not pull a cast for this because I don't think I've casted it. Today we do have another FarCon talk that will be out, and it is oops, do I have it? No, I don't. It is Jesse's talk about social coming to Coinbase Wallet. It also is our interview with Jesse before he went onto the main stage, and then our interview with Chintan from Coinbase Wallet Engineering after the fact. So we have two really good interviews. It's really interesting. So if you're interested in what's going on with Farcaster coming to Coinbase Wallet, this is going to be a great talk for you to catch. And it'll be today at noon Eastern. And I was also going to add the Far Hack and the Hackathon Awards, and I've just been having some Wi-Fi issues. So we're going to push that to Monday, and that'll be the rest of the FarCon content that we haven't shown yet will come out on Monday. So there you go. And also, I'm not sure the base one is going to drop everywhere today. So it might just be the watch party, and then it might have to drop a little bit later, or at least later today because I've been having, again, Wi-Fi issues. But we will get it all out there. And I was watching it back, and it's so good. And I debated, but I left in Fred Wilson. I was going to make an edit where he walks in front of the camera.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just
yeah.
leaving it. It's kind of funny. It's 2 seconds.
Iconic.
I'm like, I'm leaving it. It's a moment. It's a moment.
Yeah.
You get to live the moment with us. It
I thought you were talking
really
about
funny.
in his talk.
No,
yeah.
no,
So
no.
in our podcast studio when we did an interview with Jesse.
Yes.
Before his talk, after his talk.
It was before. It was before, and then Chintan was after. Yeah.
Yeah. This was like back in the green room, like before any of the talks started. I guess Fred Wilson was just like hanging out in front of our camera, talking to Dan or whoever. And we're like,
talking to Dan's dad. So you see Fred Wilson and you see Dan's dad for like a second. But you mostly see Fred, and it's really funny. And I'm trying to get people's attention, and they're just not looking at us. They're looking at it's just hilarious. So there's a funny moment.
That's fantastic.
To look forward to. But it was great. So it's been fun watching some of that back as I've been editing, and that particular interview is really good, and so is Chintan. So it's a good buffer. I think you guys will enjoy it, and then you also get Jesse's main stage talk in between. So yeah, a lot of fun. So coming up today at noon Eastern, and I will try to jump into the chat. Today might be a little tougher, but Adrian, you'll be there, I assume?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be in the chat. Have you been enjoying rewatching all the
yeah. And I've been enjoying the chat too. The chat's been fun around it, so it's a lot of fun. So join us at noon for that. This from Garrett. The other big thing that happened yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? Circle launched their IPO. This is spinning for me for some reason. So that was pretty amazing to see another big IPO from a crypto native project. And Garrett had some comments, and they're not coming up for me, and I don't know why. So we're going to move on, and maybe I'll come back to that. So that was really interesting to see, though, because it went very well, and it popped off pretty good from where it started. I think it ended up at like a 3x by the end of trading, if I remember correctly. So impressive. And I cannot get this cast to come up because that's the kind of day we're going to have. So I'm going to move on. All right, this from Ted, and this was something that you were commenting on as well. Overwhelming feedback from new users is that the content on Farcaster is often too Farcaster centric. Sharing a few topics I would love to read more on Farcaster, and please let me know if any of these are in your wheelhouse, because I would love to help amplify. 1, popular culture. 2, startups. 3, data-centric. 4, more science. And you can read the details of Ted's cast here. And then there were some funny memes that came after that, you were like, yes, no more Farcaster discussions. And why is nothing else is loading for me right now? And I'm getting very mad. But it was really funny it was Brad's The Two Wolves. Here we go. Inside you, there are two wolves. One is Adrian, the other is TLDR. And it was really, I am on the side of, so you are saying, come on, punks, I desperately urge you to cast about your niche interests and ignore the leaderboard and engagement metrics. Farcaster content performs better in the short term, but who cares? When I cast my niche content, it always gets fewer likes, but I don't care, and you shouldn't either. There you go. And then stop talking about Farcaster. No, I don't think I will. That's kind of where I'm at.
It is funny. It is really funny because the Farcaster content takes off. Like it's like you say you don't like it, but
you don't
works.
say you don't like it, but however, have you seen the leaderboard this week? It is being dominated by non-Farcaster content people. So there you go.
Oh, I wonder if Ted had a little say in the algo.
I don't know.
Because my favorite thing is we don't know what the algo is on purpose, right? Because if you know it, you can gamify it. And
true.
But
I don't know what I did notice by the person who is currently holding the top spot, and we'll see where we get by Tuesday, is new to Farcaster, has been known within the nouns community and known within like crypto for a while, but is talking about something else that he's working on related to cancer research and has been talking about that. So, but he's been quote casting everybody. And that's what I think did it, because he's new. So you get that bump, and then he's quote casting everything, which was very smart. So yeah, and he just there he is.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the leaderboard now for the live, seeing some familiar faces. Yeah. Can we all agree to stop with the quote casting?
No.
There's too much. No. Too many. There's too many. Or do it appropriately. But they're just wait. I'm like,
I know.
Not happy with the quote casting.
I agree, but here's the thing, and we went through this a while ago with Keckers making this point. It show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome.
All right. So
there's a benefit to quote casting.
We got to change the algo for a little bit.
Yeah, like make the top cast a little. I mean, maybe it is. The top cast is heavier, but I don't know if they can separate it from the quote cast. Oh, but that's why you're getting so much quote cast. So, but it goes through phases. It'll calm down. Okay, and then this was related to that. I thought this was funny from Ted, talking about Mountainhead, and also related to where we started. Was wondering why I didn't see anything about Mountainhead on the timeline here, but a quick search reveals: 1, Farcasters did, in fact, cast about it. 2, it seems most people had high expectations that weren't met. 3, but I still can't decide whether it's worth a watch or not. Anybody else watch it? Here was my cast about that: because I take Kant really fucking seriously, was my favorite line. And I immediately, while I was watching that, I was laughing and I was thinking of TLDR. Like, it was like just immediate, but it was just so, and also I was thinking about TLDR and I was thinking about Mark Andreessen, P. Marca. I was like, this feels so P. Marca. So I just started laughing, but you watched Mountainhead, right? Yes. And what did you think? What were your thoughts?
Oh, I did not like it. I watched the entire thing, so like I at least made it through. I had such high expectations for it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really high expectations for it. It's directed and made by the guy who did Succession, which is like one of my
love Succession.
Succession's so good.
Yep.
And it's about tech. Like, hello, like it's so I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. I just thought it really fell flat. And I think when I was chatting with JD maybe on the timeline about like why, and I think the reason is like the characters in Succession are so good because they take like there's like one archetype of a person, and then they exaggerate that, right? Yeah. So it's like, and that person, and it's ridiculous, but it works. And my feeling with the characters,
they are the extremes of that. Yeah,
it was like a conglomeration of people. It wasn't like, so it was like you got a little VC in you or a little founder, but the VC and founder archetype are very different.
Yeah.
So you were and then so it was kind of like, well, which are you? Like the characters seem too blended and it didn't go enough. And then I also felt like
Yeah.
watching it, like I knew a lot of the jokes because it's like you're on Twitter and
Right.
like you
Yeah.
get it. But it's like if you're someone who's not already in this world, I don't think like you don't understand all
Yeah.
the like it didn't work as well. And I was really surprised to see how high the critic score was. And then it just made me think of like,
Hmm.
is this because it's like Hollywood super left and it's like, oh yeah, like this is a
Like, get 'em.
satire
Yeah.
yeah, like boo tech the tech oligarchs are bad and that's why we love this so much. Cause I don't think it
Yeah.
was that good. And then the tech people freaking love it because
Yeah.
they're so like stupid to realize they're being made fun
You're
of.
being gonna, yeah. I think it was. So I had moments where I laughed a lot. Like there were some really funny things. There's some really just like, I don't even know if funny is a word, but like just, exaggerated craziness that I was like, oh my God. And then there were things I was like, okay, I started to think about things. So it made me think about some certain things. I thought it was, I was playing the game of who is this and trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. And like, and you can kind of, it lends itself, at least the two main characters, like Steve Carell and the one who's Elon Venice, whatever. Like those were pretty obvious ones to me. The other two were definitely more mishmash characters, so it was a little less, but you saw moments of Jack Dorsey, you saw moments of Zuck, you saw like you could see the Mark
Superman felt
Andreessen,
Superman
yeah.
felt like J. Cal, an obvious J. Cal.
Yes, a little J.
Like,
Cal. Yeah, there was a little Chamath in some of them,
you're
and
the
it was like
yeah.
you could see it. You could see who was who. But they were, and it was the director said that they were Frankensteins of different people. They weren't just one.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was accurate. That's accurate
So
assessment. Yeah. They did pull
maybe
from
I should be a
different people.
critic. I didn't
No,
even
you're great. You nailed it. You nailed it. But I still thought it was interesting, but there were moments that I really like, I was laughing of like the Kant one was so funny to me, but because those conversations have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but I think it also like, I think it shines some light on some things of like, okay, this is a lot of power. Do we think about this very often? Probably not. Probably should.
So we have the one part I thought that I enjoyed, but I felt was like underdeveloped or was, and I guess should we warn for spoiler alerts?
Yeah,
But
warning for spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. But when they got into the meta of the coup, and it was like,
yes,
oh yeah, of course we can do it. Yeah, let's do it.
That.
We're doing the coup.
That
I thought that was
so
hilarious.
Funny, but also
then,
like, oh, they really probably could do it.
Yeah, well, so going back to our conversation of like the who's more powerful, like the Elon or Trump, like to me, that is the most interesting aspect of like that I would want to see explored. So, but like you got like 10 minutes of planning a coup and then they moved on. It was like, yeah, sure. I'll do some brownouts and we'll, but that I thought was more interesting of like the politics versus the tech. But it was just so underdeveloped. So you got like a few minutes of it, but like I'd watch a whole movie about that. Like that to me is interesting.
That I totally agree because there was a point at which this movie jumps the shark. It has like a good, like it's going in an interesting direction.
And they do the murder
yeah,
and
that
the
part.
coup.
I wasn't going to say that part.
That was spoiler alerts. We don't.
That is where that's where you lost me, because that was just ridiculous. That one went way too far, but like I think if they had just extended that part and like, I think there were ways that it would work. It would have worked better. That's what I'll say. But
I also felt like for this movie, like a lot of the writing sounded very fresh, like almost like it could have been written a few months ago.
They were paying
like
attention.
Current.
Yeah, for sure. Which I did appreciate.
Like how easy was it to make this movie in terms of like you get the actors, it's like on one site, it's filmed on one site, one weekend, so I feel bad critiquing people, right? Like I don't like to play the role of critic. It's like anyone who builds anything in the world and creates anything, like good on you. Like If you don't like it, move on. And that's kind of my, in for the love of creation and builders. And I am
Love that about you.
such a fan of Succession. Well, it's like, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sit here. It's super easy to criticize
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make a freaking movie.
It's
really hard, right? Like, and you don't get the feedback. So like software is great because you can iterate and get feedback immediately.
Yeah.
Movies are really hard because you don't get feedback till you're done.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
So this was, and I think that's why people like TV. You can iterate over seasons. You can kind of,
and you can
things
develop
go
characters.
slow. Yeah.
You can develop characters.
So
Like that was the other part of it. It was like almost too, sometimes they felt two dimensional a little. And that's where like, that's especially in the second half, that's towards the end. It just got a little too, I don't know, hokey is the word, I guess.
Yeah.
But
so I just don't like
good
criticizing
and bad.
anyone who makes any art in the world. If you are making an art, good for you. Makes me super happy. I also found that I did not enjoy it. I critiqued it the whole time while I'm watching it. But guess what I keep talking about this week?
I know.
So what's
that's
the point of
makes you think.
art? What's the point of movies? Like, so it's.
So I'd say to my point, like I would say it's worth a watch. Because it's definitely worth a watch and make your own call and make your own call on it. But if you're in this industry and you're in tech and you're, these characters, like, these people because you talk about them, watch them on podcasts constantly, you'll enjoy that aspect of the, the guessing game and the, you kind of get where that came from and those kind of things. So
yeah, it was fun. It was like, and if you don't like it, like this, I'm speaking to myself because I don't.
Yeah.
Go write your own movie. Go make your own and do better. Like
do better. No one's
opportunity for a new parody about technocrats.
There you go. Want to shout out this last thing, which is your background today.
Yeah.
This is from our friend Chris co-created. So just a couple, this is our two last things. 2 years ago, Farcaster had just 2,000 weekly active users. I made a piece with purple to mark that moment. Today, I'm dropping the pro upgrade, all 10K pros, plus the Farcaster team. Free SD mint. I think the mint is already over because it was only open for 48 hours, but this is WeCast Pro. And so if you're not familiar with Chris co-created, he's done quite a few of these where he kind of takes its art and tech really combined, where he's pulling from the data and putting it into an art piece, and it's just beautiful. So there you go. The arch is back. And then this is to cleanse your timeline from Galazio. I just found this very satisfying. That's it. It's my last thing. The power washing of an Adirondack chair to cleanse your timeline. There you go. Power wash your timeline.
Beautiful.
And with that, anything else, Adrian?
No, but congratulations, Chris, on the mint. And I love my background. And I think the coolest thing about that mint was all like playing with the primitives of Farcaster. So it's I mean, he's been doing this for years, but now you've got the in mini app, and it was like, it's a free mint if you engage. So it was like a recast, then you get the free mint, or you can purchase the high def version.
Right.
And so I think it's a really just interesting case study on just the intersection of NFTs and social and what you can do with it. So super cool art, but then also you just think of the future of like, oh, what that just seems like a primitive to me.
Yeah. And it's really been fun to watch the evolution of Farcaster has been captured in his art, which is really cool if you think about that. So that's just a fun aspect of it. So Chris, we appreciate you. All right. And with that, okay, what do we got going on? Okay, so today I'll be on with Humpty and Ted and maybe Dan. I think I'm coming on after Dan and talking about channels, and that will be, so check out Humpty for that information as to where to watch that. Then that's at 11:30 Eastern. So a couple hours from now, 2 hours from now. And then at noon, right here on GM Farcaster channels, you'll see the next FarCon piece from Jesse and our interview with him and Chintan talking about Coinbase Wallet, social coming to Coinbase Wallet. So check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be in the chat chatting, and that's it. And with that, everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
chat.
Schedule next week TBD because someone may or may not have jury duty again. So we're gonna
We've got all kinds of issues.
We're traveling one day, so might do
I'm
a
not
solo
traveling.
show.
I'm not traveling Monday. I'm traveling Friday. So we've got we'll let you know. We'll let you know what's happening. We might be on Monday. We might be on Tuesday. We might shift everything.
Best way to stay updated is follow the GM Farcaster channel. Not that that gets distribution anymore, but it used to.
Follow you will.
Us on
You'll
follow
see
us on Farcaster.
Yeah.
Add the mini app and you'll get notified every time we go live. And
that's the important part.
Subscribe to YouTube, X, and Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and all the things.
And we also drop our Paragraph weekly newsletter update, which will have our schedule for next week. We'll have it figured out by the time that drops on Sunday. So look for that. It will have all the information. And that's it. So happy Friday, everyone. Let's go back to Twitter and see what's going on. See if there's anything new. Let us know. And with that, we're going to call it. And happy Friday and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.